Oh boy, folks, we've got good stuff and we've got bad stuff. We've got stuff that's going to make us smile, and then we've got, as Jabba would say, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Just like that. Yes, it's going to be but you know what? There's a lot of cool stuff out there. We've got a recap of an event. We've got some anime to talk about, and we've got 2 episodes to talk about that were very dark and yet oddly optimistic and loving.
Yeah, a lot of pride.
Yeah. Definitely want to talk about that. That was awesome. So, Java, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this, folks. Hey folks, what's up? This is TBA News, the anime and gaming station on the Hungry Bleak channel. I am Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungriest Bleak. I mean, well, probably, yeah, but the Hungry Bleak, and I'm the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. And as always, with me on Mondays,
it is your Jabba Chin. Whoop.
How are you doing, John? Before we get into this and we get into some of the heaviness of what's going on here,
I ate
how
too
are you
fast.
doing?
I ate too fast. I'm ready to go to sleep. I had Moe's for Cinco de Mayo and it was so good, but I ate too fast.
First off, yes. Also, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. To everyone on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Instagram, I'm trying more to be on you. I'm probably gonna get called into HR for that sentence. I didn't even sound right. To have shows, I really did. I'm so folks. You already know how I am when it's late night. It is, and this is late night for me. Sorry.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm trying to post more and do more videos on Instagram since you are there, and to bring you into what we've got going on. All right. So Java, you are once again on your events tour, but this time you went as a spectator.
I did. I went as a spectator. I went to the Garden Anime Fest. Garden State Anime Fest. It's a lot in one statement, so forgive me.
It is. How was it?
Well, I played this. For me, it was one hell of a drive. And I mean that. Because it was up in Augusta, Georgia. And for those people, I mean, not Augusta, Georgia. Jesus.
I was about to say, yeah, that is a hell of a drive.
Not Augusta, Georgia. I'm sorry. Augusta, New Jersey. Yes, in fact, Jersey has an Augusta in the state. I'm so sorry. And it's like up north. Like up
it's
north.
Up north.
Yeah. For people that don't know, and for all of us Jersey folks, that I was in Taylor ham country, all right? If you know, you know, all right? Even though it's pork roll. But I was in Taylor ham country.
I don't eat either one, so I have no dog in the fight.
But no, the drive was nice, especially because I went on a Saturday, even though the event was Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm like, okay, let me just go on a Saturday so I got like Sunday to recuperate and do all my other things. Beautiful day. I got a few people that were there that were like my con buddies that were like, you know, seeing the circuit. As far as like celebrities go, we had Phil Parson, who was the voice of Nappa for Dragon Ball Z. We had Brent Mukai, if I'm saying that right. If not, I'm so sorry for pronouncing his name wrong. He was in One Piece. He was also in Demon Slayer as I forgot the guy that was in the jar with like the eyes for the mouth for eyeballs. Yes, him. And we also had Charlie Campbell. He is he was also done a few like One Piece, My Hero Academia. He was Deku's second mentor. I forgot his name. Not All Might, but the other short little guy that trained All Might. So they were there.
The All for One.
Yes, the one that taught All for One.
No, yeah, All for One. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So those guys were there. The event grounds for me, because I've never been to, I've been to fairgrounds for like other shows for like craft, like more like craft shows, like farm stuff like that. So it was nice. It was good to see my friends there and like ask them like, how was this? Because like, when you go to conventions, you'd be like, oh, I want to like, what other conventions are like as a spectator. I had some pros and had some cons. Where it's like it was good for sure and the best for like the food trucks that they had there, which good amount of food trucks from like barbecue, like lobster rolls, empanadas, ice cream, and like you're seeing like chicken wings and like fries stuff like that. If you were a vendor, you could scan the QR code that they would give you for the food trucks, and they would let you know when your food's ready. So they said where you're not too far from your table, waiting in line with all the other customers to get your food, which was not bad at all, which I could appreciate.
I'm totally down for that. Totally.
Yeah, because as a vendor, it's usually hard to actually get food within the convention if you're on yourself. Very hard to get it.
Yeah.
The ones I would say is that there was some empty tables that I saw like in the bigger rooms, and then when I saw some of my other buddies in like the smaller rooms, I'm like, I was being the mole. I'm like, yo, there's like extra tables in the bigger room. I'm like, I'm surprised you guys are in there. And I was also surprised that the voice actors were in the smaller barn versus the bigger barn with all the other vendors, because like they had like, we'll give them props because you don't see them anymore. I saw people actually selling like actual prop weapons, not the foam ones. I'm talking about the metal ones. You don't see those a lot anymore. You have to go, like to certain like shows to go get them. So seeing them made me want to get one. I'm like, ooh, I could get me like the Blades of Chaos, even though they're technically smaller than what Kratos does normally have. I'm like, but they're metal, so I could just like hang them up somewhere. Or if I get like a berserker sword, so but like,
Lord.
no, don't do it. But I wanted to. I didn't do it. I appreciate it. But yeah, what else was there? But pretty much it was a nice day. Thank goodness it didn't rain. I know it rained, I think Sunday. It started to rain like on and off. But other than that, it was all right. For me, would I go there? No, because the drive is far. Let alone you're literally in like the boonies where like it's Bambi and farm country up there, and like the closest hotel is like 30 minutes out. I'm like,
And you've already had a long drive up there to begin with.
Yeah. That's pushing it.
Okay, but the con itself, 1 to 5, what would you rate it?
2.5.
Well, all right.
2.5. 2.5 out of 5.
I understand. Okay. And I say, happy Cinco de Mayo to Pharaoh as well.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
All right. So now that we've talked about that, let's go with some anime that is coming out, because there's so much anime coming out. I was watching anime today. I was also, I forgot what else I was doing today. I did a few things today.
You were making tea.
Yes. Tea is an everyday thing, hopefully.
But, I mean, like that's what you were doing, though.
I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. But I was also reminded that Blood of Zeus season 3 is going to be coming out on Netflix on the 8th. I am behind on this, as is Jabba.
Episode 1 of season 1.
Yes,
she
is literally one of one, folks. I'm on season 2, but I'm going to rewatch season 1 just because I've forgotten, and there's been so much else going on. But it's the trailer for season 3 that's coming out. I like Greek mythology, so I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with it. Obviously, I'm not going to have the sound on it, folks. I enjoyed Netflix's series and how they dabble in different things. I was actually looking through their menu today of just randomly things, and I was like, they have a really wide library of stuff. From stand-up to live shows now that they're doing, obviously more with having WWE Raw on there, and having Everybody's in LA, or Everybody Lives in LA. I forgot what the name of the show with John Mulaney, but they have an extensive library of anime and anime stuff that they're putting out. Blood of Zeus is one of those series that everybody's been waiting for season 3 for. Um, as you're seeing now, obviously it's Greek mythology, pantheon
Mhm.
of the gods. If you're a fan of, I would say if you're a fan of old school like Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, uh my man, why can't I remember the name of Kratos' game right now?
God of
God of
War.
War. Yes, I don't know why I couldn't remember it for that. I really couldn't.
I'm
I
like
really
God
couldn't.
of War.
But stuff like that, like you'll enjoy this series. It has
Pretty
that
much anything
same,
like Greek mythology related, like that you might have
yeah,
seen, probably would like this.
yeah. It just go with it. Or if you just want to watch something that is just, with gods and demigods and fighting, and you know how Greek mythology is, they're constantly infighting those gods.
Hmm.
And so, and this is the last season as well, too. Blood. This series is the series that made me. I literally was on the internet, like just making memes of Zeus. I made like 3 of them, and it was like Zeus does not care. Zeus will see Zeus will see a Zeus will see any type of being or what have you, and just go, "Oh, you want this lightning bolt?" He is willing to sleep with anything and
Yeah,
anyone randomly. There's no. It's just crazy, and this
like
is like a prime example.
I feel like if you had to put like Zeus is like the epitome of like narcissism because
Yeah,
it's all about
yeah,
him. And even though he had like multiple children, he would still knock him off because like no, it's not about you, it's about me.
yeah. He's the worst of the worst. That's one of the things I actually, which is funny about Disney when they made Hercules, they made him this lovable father. I think that's the only depiction of him I've seen where he's been a lovable person. Every
Yeah.
other one has been horrible. He's horrible. The worst husband, the worst father, and he's the leader of them. It was just crazy. But yeah. So that's gonna be coming up May 8th, season 3. Check it out. May 8th is what? Is that Friday? Excuse me, Thursday?
That is Thursday.
Because Netflix does a lot of Thursday debuts now, which I like.
Hmm.
When everything's on Friday, it's horrible. So I like that streaming services are starting doing things on different days. Like Wednesday was a big day for Disney Plus. Thursday is like theirs. HBO Max is random. They used to do movies just on Saturday nights, but now they're doing them earlier. Like they just had Baby Girl come out on
Yeah.
Max. I don't know what day it is. I will be watching that for season.
Sometimes I don't like to follow the schedule. I just like to like randomly see out there because you like for
Yeah.
example, like was it Wolfman is on Peacock
Hmm.
now. And I didn't even realize that. I'm like, oh, I got another movie to watch.
It came out like I want to say 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I
'Cause
have it on my queue to watch. I think the only time was like I would be excited. I think the last time I actually like waited until this movie came out was like when Wicked was coming out. One, because I didn't want to pay an extra like movie ticket. I'm sorry. And then I'm like, I'll wait and then I'll just like watch it like multiple times. But like when
yeah,
movies come out like at random, I'm like, oh, I have stuff to like binge now and have like
yeah,
movie marathons with. Because like Wolfman, I did want to see. I just didn't have the chance to go see it. But I am
mm.
gonna try and go see Sinners before it goes to streaming services.
Go to see Sinners. They're doing a lot. Go see it in IMAX.
Hmm.
It's one of the best. I have to go see it again. I just haven't had time to. But yeah, go see that. Prime does that a lot where they put movies random. They'll just slap it up there like they're just
Yeah.
like, so fine randomly,
Oh,
which is awesome.
I do have another one that just popped in my head. We didn't have it on the list, but for anybody that's also interested in any type of like anime movies, and that I would recommend is Wolf Children. If you have not seen it, it's going to be in theaters May 13th and 14th.
You said
It's a good
Wolf
story.
Children
Yeah, Wolf Children. It's a good story.
is
Kind of
about
gives you
werewolves.
no, it's like this like kind of like this love story where like this girl falls in love where she thought it was a guy, but he actually is like a full-fledged wolf or whatever. Fortunately, the guy passes, and now she's raising 2 children that are like half human, half wolf, in like the countryside of like Japan. If you are familiar with like the old Digimon art style, it's like that.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send you a trailer to watch it, see like if you're interested. But yeah, Wolf Children will be re-releasing in theaters May 13th and 14th.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, you know what I wish was coming out around May 13th is some new Destiny stuff. Because
Yes.
I'm not hungry for it, but I love when they come out with new stuff because the cutscenes, everything are just so fantastic. But there have been teasers, Jabba. What have these teasers been about?
Look, I'm like, I don't even know because like I randomly follow this Destiny bulletin on Facebook, just like for like random for like different emblems and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I be seeing like this one random character that's like floating towards something. Don't know what it is, but like dude is bold. I don't want to say dude because I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. This thing is barefoot and floating with water or liquid particles, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but apparently the showcase is going to be tomorrow. I know we mentioned it in the previous show, but I got some new. This new article just dropped about the release. Supposedly is going to be July 15th when the new expansion hits, which makes about sense for like the amount that we have until this next season is over. Or no, not next expansion. This will be like another story. We usually get like four short stories and then the expansion afterwards. But anyway, going into it, where they're showcasing like a little teaser of like a statue, so it's gonna be like collector's edition stuff going on, which me, I'm a sucker for, and I'm like, I really want to spend money for it.
Is that $275?
Did it say that? I didn't even look fully. I just saw like the statue and
yeah, $275.
God damn it.
It's up to you, Jabba. It's up to you. Totally not going to put peer pressure on you for that.
Right. Oh yeah, of course not. I mean, it's a good statue. You get like the soundtrack. You get some emblems.
Like yep, emblems.
And from when I was looking at the box art, like I said, I don't know how true it is. Could just be like just like like maybe fake promo art, but it looks like it's gonna be Year of Prophecy. Allegedly, we'll find out more when we have the showcase tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will be 12 Pacific Standard, 12 Eastern Standard Time, our time. From what it looks like you can like on like an offshore boating where like some type of like sand and stuff. Don't know what planet's looking like from like the box art, but I'm intrigued. And I want it, and I really want to talk about like what this character, like what this new character is going to bring. Because as I told you, Antonio, I showed you the video where like it doesn't really give like any type of context because homie's just floating somewhere, don't know where. So, and also for anybody that has Twitch, if you watch the showcase on Bungie's Twitch for 15 minutes, you do get an exclusive emblem. It's not here in the article, but I know that this is posted further for the event. So you got to watch it for like 15 minutes, and then it's.
I think it was at the bottom.
Was it? No, that's a different one.
So. Oh, it's a different.
Yeah, it's a different one. It's the one I sent you in our chat.
Oh, so it's not that one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not that one.
Which is kind of cool. I do.
It's a different one. Yeah.
I would like to see the guys. I do like when they bring in new worlds, new weapons, obviously, new characters, and even deeper story because Destiny's already a deep story to begin with. I would like to see the new armors, obviously, new exotics. So I like when there's that refresh that you get. So I'm excited about this. When I come home from work, I think I will watch the showcase. I will be watching it after the fact, unfortunately, but still, it's good. Excuse me. And yeah, this should be fun. The Destiny's constantly giving something more and more and more. That's why we end up talking about it a lot. Not just the fact that we play it, but there's a lot to be updated about it because they're constantly like doing something. Like if you really think about it, every Friday afternoon is an update because Zur comes around and has new armor, weapons, catalysts that you can buy, things like that. So there's constantly something going on.
And I'm pretty sure as of tomorrow, because I just got when I was looking on the Bungie actual Bungie page, they're gonna have like their maintenance shutdown for Tuesday. That's like the reset, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a major update because of
Yeah.
Tuesday and the showcase. So like whatever people get is gonna
Yeah.
get thrown all in there too at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because usually if it's at 12, because usually the reset starts at like 12 our time, which is 9 Pacific Standard Time. That's when they're doing the showcase as well. So pretty
Mm-hmm.
much don't play Destiny until Wednesday.
Yeah, I would say
Be on
yeah.
the safe side.
Do we know when Solstice starts?
Ah,
No, right? We
June,
don't know. Is it June? Okay.
June,
I was hoping that they would do
May,
it like in May.
middle
I was
May.
hoping.
I don't know
Yeah.
because we already
That's
had the games, so I
yeah.
think it might be June when it actually hits quote unquote
Mm-hmm.
summer for us. When it's like okay, first day of summer, then it's gonna be solstice
Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, be on the lookout for the showcase on Twitch.
and
Um,
YouTube for people that
yes,
don't
and,
Twitch. I'm
and
sorry.
YouTube. Yeah, 'cause some people don't have. Yeah, I would say it probably easier to look it up on YouTube than Twitch, because Twitch you have to have an account to watch YouTube. You can just go on there and just watch
Oh no, you
whatever.
don't. You can just sign in. I mean, you don't have to sign in. You can just watch from freely.
Oh, Twitch? Oh, you can now?
Yeah, you Ben could do that. The
Oh,
only thing
really?
is like,
I didn't know
you
you could.
just don't get perks. Whereas like you can't like chat with like the person that's streaming,
Oh,
and
okay.
you don't get like the extra benefits. Whereas like for example, if you have like Twitch signed into like your Prime or whatever, you could get like the free stuff from Prime as well. So yeah, but if you're just like free forming just like watching off the cusp, you don't have to sign in.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with YouTube. You don't have to sign in either. You can just watch it. But if you want those perks, you gotta
Then
sign
you
in.
have to. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, even better to know, folks. You can go on either one, check it out, see what's going on, and revel in all the new stuff that's coming out. So, one of the new animes that's been out, and it's on episode 5, I want to say.
Yeah.
5 is To Be Hero X. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago. Basic story is this guy who is marketing. First of all, this is a world with superheroes, and superheroes are kind of based on almost like social media and like public
Mm-hmm.
opinion. The more the public believes in you and everything, the stronger you are. So you have to constantly like looking for approval, and they'll have like little gauges, like counters on their wrist that'll let them know how strong they are,
Yep.
how much people are into them, and you can actually see that, which is actually kind of a cool and interesting thing. Think My Hero Academia, but with like social media, the public opinion polls,
Yeah,
like
definitely
that.
heavy on the social media because a
Yeah,
lot of like social media references are in that show.
yeah, they definitely are. Like likes and everything like that, and rates and everything, like what people watching. So basically, there's this like the most popular known hero, um, is on the roof with this other with this guy who's like a marketing guy who does stuff for superheroes, and trying to come up with a name and this slogan for one of the new tournaments that the heroes are going to have. And
Mm-hmm.
this hero walks by, looks at him, gives him the finger guns, and walks off the edge of the building to death. What ends up happening is the guy that sees him looks a lot like the hero. And actually, you know what? Think of My Hero Academia, The Boys,
Mm-hmm.
and that social media influence, because there are different like like companies, let's say, groups that a hero will represent them basically.
Yep.
And everybody who's at this corporation, this company, is like, oh my god, he's dead, we have to figure something out. And while they're trying to figure it out, they look at this guy and they go, you look just like him, we're going to have you be him. And he ends up becoming him, and they end up having him doing all the press that he does and living with his girlfriend. And then it just goes from this really wild, it
Things
goes
go
from that,
left.
yeah, it goes left in such a big way, and ends up becoming almost like this murder mystery, but still this anime about this guy just trying to figure it out. And he's copying someone, but by episode 5, he starts to become his own person, his own being, and his own superhero. It has this beautiful blend of animation that's similar to Arcane.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same company, correct?
Um,
I won't say the same
Oh
place
no, no,
because even the opening
I don't
feels like
think.
that.
No, it's two different ones because I know Arcane was definitely like was it oh shit, I forgot to tell me because I know this one was like a Chinese, I think Chinese series, I believe. But anyway, the animation is like it does remind you of Arcane for people that have not, who is like the only like closest thing
Yeah.
to
Um.
comparison. Like I said before, it reminds me of The World Ends With You. It like with the heavy
mm,
fine arts and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, but the way this whole anime is, it's like it's
It's
it's it's serious, but then it's not serious because it's funny at the same time because there's so much comic like relief in certain areas where it's like you
and they
really
know
can't
they
be
need
serious.
it
Yeah.
because of how. But it has a beautiful thing of when it kind of shows somebody's backstory a little bit, and I'm seeing this a little bit more with different shows because this happened with uh um Devil May Cry recently as well,
Mm-hmm.
where they're using like they'll have the main animation style and then they'll transition to another animation style to tell a story, to tell maybe somebody's
Mm-hmm.
backstory or a side story or whatever. And they do it so beautifully and wonderfully. That's why I didn't think it was the Arcane style. Because what I saw when I looked saw the trailer was different animation. So when I saw this, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, what is this? I was like, this isn't it was great. So it throws you a little bit, but it makes it so much more poignant. Um, it's just been really interesting. I'm really loving the fights when he does
Yeah.
fight, and I love the fact that it's almost like, and it truly is to be Hero X because anyone can be a hero. He's literally showing
Mm-hmm.
anyone can be a hero. So it's kind of this meta thing in there. It's one of the, it's one of like the favorite thing that's going on too, and I didn't think I was going to like it. I truly didn't. And by episode 5, he is literally he's his own hero. He's no longer the hero's name that he's impersonating is called Nice.
Nice. But the guy,
And
his actual name is Ling Ling, and I think they're sticking
mhm,
with his actual name, Ling Ling,
yes.
as far as like a character name, because you do have other characters where it's like, oh, Miss Moon, was it
Hmm.
oh, what was the gentleman's name?
Lanker,
Lanker, but
the
no, I'm thinking of the one
boxer,
that was holding the
firm,
firm. Yes, there's firm, even though that's technically not like his
firm man.
firm man. Thank you.
Yes.
Even though it's technically not his real name, I would say for me, my
Yeah.
favorite person is I forgot her name, but it's the manager, the
Oh
female
yeah,
manager.
yeah.
She's like, we're losing him. Points are going down. Just nailed it in the confidence. His whole
She
career is
does.
done.
She does not. Well, you know what? That's why it reminds me of the boys too, because that one executive that's
Hmm.
always having like an emotional breakdown. That's what she
Yep.
reminds me of. I was watching the episodes today, and I was watching the episode with Firm Man, which was really good. I was not
Yeah.
expecting that ending, but I had to left it because I thought something was wrong with his legs. I thought like his legs were broken or something, and that's why he was wearing those big metal like boots.
Hmm.
And he said it was okay at first, but then like it wasn't okay. I had trouble with stuff. And he was like, I had trouble sleeping and other things. And it showed him, and he had to sleep standing up because he couldn't bend his knees. So they had the bed with the strap. Because when I saw the bed behind him, I was like, why does he have a bed with a strap like that? And then they show him sleeping, but he's standing up in the bed and he's strapped to it. And I'm like, that defeats the whole purpose of even having a bed. Because why would you just strap something soft to your back? That doesn't make it comfortable. And then he said then he was like, then they showed a snippet of him trying to go to the bathroom and he couldn't like pull his pants down. And
Yep.
he was like,
Couldn't get
oh,
up.
I'm like, so you just never go to the bathroom? Like, what is that? And I was like, I didn't want to laugh at him because it was like kind of like a really tender story. But I was like, in that moment, because he couldn't even pull his pants down. I was like,
No,
oh, I felt every bit of that. I felt every bit of that pain.
that's leg day.
That's
Pretty much where it's like, all right, I'm like, radio. No.
he he
Oh,
he couldn't even get to the bowl. Like it was just there was so much stuff there. I was like, oh, this is awesome. But this is on Prime. I
no,
definitely go.
Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll.
Oh, so why does it keep saying Prime on it? It says Prime on mine, but I have my Crunchyroll through Prime, so maybe that's why it's saying Prime.
Maybe for you, yeah, because I'm watching directly through Crunchyroll.
Yeah, but it's so good and the animation style and like I said, the transitions between them. This is one of my like favorite animes this year, and I didn't even really know about this anime until it was up. I didn't know about it at all,
Yeah,
and it's just so good.
I would have to say this was unfortunately a TikTok find for me because as
Oh,
I do scroll through TikTok, that's when I found out with the first like 5 seconds where Nice did the finger guns and all of a sudden he just like walked off. I'm like, wait, what was this? Like I didn't want it.
it shouldn't even be comical, but it's the way that because he says nothing.
No, he just looks at you. But the thing though is that it slows down and then like it speeds up in real time and like he does the
Mhm.
ragdoll effect and I'm like, wait, what just happened? I'm like,
And
did
you're
it
thinking,
really
oh,
happen?
and you're thinking, oh, like he's gonna fly, right? Because he can fly,
Right.
but he doesn't,
He doesn't.
and that's what makes it worse. Because I was like, because when I saw it, I was like, oh well, he's gonna like he's doing that kind of like aloof superhero thing, like he's like, then he'll come, he'll dive down, he'll fly back up, and he'll be like, hey, I'm not whatever, and he doesn't, and I was like, oh, and it just gets wilder then, but it's kind of cool because it's him freeing these heroes who feel trapped
Mm-hmm.
in that role, in that job. Like he freed Moon, and he was like, "Well, I asked them to pray for your freedom," and that's why the teleportation gun could take her anywhere, but by because I never realized it. And she was like, "Well, when I use my gun, it's always to be by Nice's side." And I thought about the scene, so I was like, "Yeah, every time she uses it, she does end up right by his side." I was like, "Oh, it does get kind of deep. It's funny, it's deep, it has great animation, great fights." Um,
And it has WTF moments where it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, and the production value is off the scales. It's beautifully done. It's beautifully done. So I definitely would recommend uh 2B Hero X. Like I said, there are I was about to say 5 issues, 5 episodes up. I don't know how many there are going to be though.
If I had to put a mark on it, depending on I feel like it might be 12
12. Okay.
in the season. They come back with another season. If
Yes.
not 12, maybe 15. Maybe
As we
15.
definitely need more because I need to know because there's still some stuff that wasn't answered. Like, why was she dead at the end of the first episode?
Yeah.
Was that ever answered?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So there's a lot, yeah. So there's still a lot more there. And who did it? And why did my man just? I think he might have just given up because he was tired of it. Because you see how the heroes are tired of, like at least
Yeah.
for Moon and Furman, they were tired
But you
of
know what?
being in that role.
We never get Knight's actual backstory because Homie just like opts himself off within the first 30 seconds of the show. And we're like,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
you're cool, you're number one here. Wait, okay, now you're gone. I need his backstory
He he
first.
was he was done. So I'm thinking he may have been the most tired because he's like that top spot number one hero. So maybe that was it. I don't know, but it's just really good. It's just really good.
Mm-hmm.
It might be my anime of the year,
I can't put it up there just yet. I can't put that up there just yet.
but I still have other things to watch. But it's been like I think most fun has been Devil May Cry though. That Devil May Cry was just nostalgic, like good feeling, and just wild out of nowhere. For that, and I love Studio Mer. They do great stuff, and I love their action and everything. So what have you? But yes, go check this out.
Yeah.
Like I said, 5 episodes up.
Mm-hmm.
Loads of fun. Go check it out. Now we go from fun to
Emotional damage. Emotional damage.
which The Last of Us. We're gonna recap, kind of, sort of, episodes 3 and 4. So in episode 2, spoiler alert if you have not seen it, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. 10,
Everybody went golfing.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That
Happy
was
New Year.
exactly. So at the end of episode 2, we are told, excuse me, we are shown that Joel has been brutally murdered. If you haven't played the game and you've seen the series, you already knew what's going to happen. But if you hadn't, you were given. Want to say it once more, Java?
Emotional damage.
There we go.
Emotional
By the brutal killing
damage.
of Joel by Abby and the wolves. And then episode 3 is basically Ellie waking up from also being beaten, and Joel's not there, and she's realized it. And once she wakes up, she gives a couple seconds and she remembers everything. And this is basically her. This whole episode was basically her mourning Joel and mourning, but also wanting to get revenge. And Bella Ramsey. Bella Ramsey. I don't care what y'all. First off, y'all are asses for bullying this young actor. Say, oh, it doesn't look right. I just have that. They are incredible in this role, and every episode they ramp it up because now the show is more focused on her, and she's carrying it excellently. They are doing an amazing job with this because that whole episode was all Ellie. I mean, there were other characters there, but everything was on Ellie's back. And it was just so good. There was I watched it. I watched it last night because I was trying to watch 3 and 4 last night. I watched episode 3 last night. I fell asleep during episode 4, not because it was bad, because it was late, and I ended up rewatching 3 and then watching 4. Was phenomenal. I was taken aback. Then episode 4 is basically we find out the backstory, a little bit on the wolves, but more on the character of Isaac. And I forgot he was in this. Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is in something. It's money. It's money.
He don't play.
He's just so. Yeah. So what did you think about episodes 3 and 4?
So episode 3 was definitely just like the aftermath of everything that happened in episode 2. So pretty much like, everybody rebuilding, like, like putting like, people to rest because it wasn't just Joel that died. There was a whole bunch of other people in Jackson that got or like, killed by like, by the infected. So getting a look at that and seeing like how that is, because you don't see it in the game, I do appreciate. Besides, like, you do see like, Joel's grave in the game, and you do see it, in the show, but like you don't see like, oh, if people got attacked in Jackson, this is what happens. I will say I do like how they were going about like councils and like, okay, what do we do? Do we like we go after people that went after Joel, and do we just stay here? And Seth, who I know as, I'm a Law and Order fan. He was in Law and Order SVU as Todd Tucker, one of the people from the the IBAs or IB. Thank you. And he's always a hard ass. So to see him in here and him be a hard ass, and then actually turn around and be like, no, they took one of our own, so we're gonna take one of their own. It's like, okay, now you're really starting to get into like it's either us versus them. And that's pretty much been the whole concept of Last of Us. It's either us versus whatever's out there that's like, ruining like your way of life at this point. So and now mind you, for those that haven't played the game, Dina is the one that was with Joel, not Tommy, because Tommy was in Jackson in the show, but he was with Joel in the game. So remember, there is that switch. So Dina now knows who the people are that killed Joel, and is given the option for Ellie to help Ellie go. Whereas in the game, Tommy knew who they were, gave Ellie the info, but he went off. No, how do they do it? He was going to go off on his own, and then Ellie decided to go after him in the game, if I'm remembering everything correctly. But also Dina came to follow.
Okay.
So there's that little twist in between those two parts of the story. So episode 3 was good. It was a good, like, kind of like break from all like the action that we had from episode 2 and all the
That
emotional
was a
damage.
lot.
Because I don't even know if we even talked about how episode 2 went, because I knew it was happening. I knew what was going to happen, just how it happened. I was literally like up on my feet, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like you and you. And mind you, there was a lot of cursing, so I'm trying to refrain from myself since this is somewhat of a family-friendly show. But
Yes.
I was saying every single word in the book. And I'm like, I don't think I could watch it. At least like not that episode all over again. It was just too much. Too much.
It was like I said, everybody fit like Catherine O'Hara, doing her like maybe like what was it, 5 minutes or such like that was great. I mean, give her 5 minutes, give her an hour, she's gonna like just completely give you everything. I love the council scene where she's reading the letter, and again you see Ellie's growth and her maturity, because he even tells her, he's like, write it down, so you know what you're going to say, because sometimes you're impulsive and you get angry. And her taking the time and read, and she did just to read she wrote like a whole page, and everybody seeing that too, and seeing how she's grown, and even my man standing up for her, which he was a dude
Yeah, that was Seth.
Yeah, like standing up. And I was surprised when he stood up. I was like, because I thought that he was going to stand up and say something against them, and he was like, no, we need to get them for what they did, because it wasn't right for her, and she's she lost her father and everything, not this. But just seeing how that council worked, like you were saying, and seeing that they were like justice, because that's what this world is. You can go after them. They were even saying, when I was watching the making of, they were talking about this world is filled with a lot of tribalism, like you were saying, like you're either with us or you're against us, and that's what ends up. I mean, even now you see this. If you're not with us, you're against us. There are no gray areas with things. And you saw the flip side of that in episode 4, that tribalism with Isaac. And when they're all in well, first off, at the end of episode 3, and they're in Seattle, they're there. And then you see the wolves go by. And it's not just like a bunch of, and it's not like this group of young teenagers, what have you. They're military. They've got like the armored vehicle, everything. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this is what they had. And I was standing there like, because I got up to get something to drink, and I had a cup in my hand, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like,
because also
what?
just to put into episode 3, we also had the tribal, the scars.
Yeah, the I forgot what their actual names are. The
Seraphites.
Oh, Seraphites. Okay, yeah, the Seraphites, which was
So that's another new. So
they were
technically, there's
introduced in episode 3.
yeah.
Oh, because I remember them. Oh, okay. So, oh, yes.
So we technically have 3. We have 3 technically 4 adversaries right now. We have the Seraphites, we have the wolves, we have Abby's group making them separate than the wolves, and then we also have the infected.
Yes. So there was a lot there. Then episode 4 is basically a love story episode. So Abby and Dina are on Sparkle. Is that the horse's name? Sparkle? Glimmer?
I don't know. Sunshine,
Glitter?
Rainbow. Give it a name.
It's something like that. And they're going through Seattle. And they see all these rainbows. This scene, I absolutely melted my heart. They see all these rainbows, and they're like, and Dina goes, what's up with all these rainbows? And Ellie goes, oh, I don't know. I guess there were a bunch of optimists. And you see the rainbow flags. And on the wall, you see the rainbow upside down triangle, and you see it says pride.
Yep. And give me 1 second to finish talking. I'm sorry, everybody. We have a last minute phone call. Give me 1 second.
Yes, go ahead.
That's what we're doing.
So during that part, like, it was just beautiful to see that you have these 2 queer characters who don't know about pride, and who don't know maybe about Pride Month and everything that happened with Stonewall and such like that. And they're there, and they're going through this area of pride, this area that was filled with these beautiful queer people at one time, and they don't know about it. It was heartbreaking, but also so very beautiful and cool, um, which I loved. And it was an odd bit of optimism during the apocalypse in a way, but that scene really melted my heart. So you see them, they're in Seattle and they're walking around, they're trying to figure out where everything is. They go to check an armored vehicle, see if it has any ammo in it. It does not. And then they make their way and see a what is it, a radio tower with a big dish
TV,
on it.
was it? It's a TV
Oh yeah,
station.
the channel HM. I don't know what it was.
It's
Yeah,
channel 16.
yeah,
From what I've what but before you go,
yes,
that far deeper into it, can we just bring it back from the early parts of episode 4? Because I didn't realize this person was in there until I looked up the cast list. When
oh
Isaac was
yes,
meeting with the leader, well, supposedly the leader, uh, Sean is how they got it. I didn't know if I don't know if you're familiar with this actress. I didn't know this was Alana Umbach or
yep,
Umbach. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. I'm like, I know
yep.
her. And for those who don't know, this actress has range that I didn't realize until I learned of her early on. Because I put
Beekman's World,
if you are familiar with wait, what?
Beekman's World.
No, before that, I didn't know that
Oh,
she was in Sister Act 2
yeah,
as one of the students. She was in Legally Blonde as one of the friends. I'm like, she was in Coco as the freaking grandma, the dead grandmother. I'm like, oh god, range.
she's
And
been all over.
she's out there. I give her credit.
She's she can do so many different things and be hilariously funny, and
Yeah,
she can change
and
her voice
serious.
in so many different ways.
And she was also in Euphoria as well too as
Hmm.
one of the moms. Like I said,
Yeah.
when I saw her, I'm like, I know that's not.
Hmm. And for
Like,
her to be so reined in for a role too, because normally her roles are so out there and
mhm,
bombastic and everything, for her to be pulled back was crazy. I was like, when I saw her, I was like, but that's what I like about shows like this is I forget who's been cast, and then when I
yeah.
watch, I go, oh yeah, because I forgot Jeffrey Wright was even in there.
And also even
Josh
Josh
Peck,
Peck. I'm sitting
yep,
like, yeah, Josh Peck.
yep,
I'm
was in
like,
there too.
wow.
It was so cool. I think this episode was really fun for me because, and this is a question that I had. The Fireflies, the Fireflies, were they ever part of the Wolves, or have they always been separate?
Believe they were separate, but it's kind of like the same. They were kind of like for like the same goal, but like different ideologies at the same
Okay.
time. Like they were trying to go for like the greater good, but the wolves were more. They were more conservative and more power demanding. Because as you, if you watch the episode in episode 4, we're like, oh, we have the voters, even though they're not
Yes.
voters. Where like there were people that got their rights taken away, which kind of like is oddly parallel to what we're going through in society now. But like I ain't saying nothing
Mm,
else. But like they're trying to gain control. Where it's like we have control over these people. We're not gonna have them try and think everything. Where the Fireflies they were trying to like at least save humanity in some way, shape, or form. But they
yeah.
might gone through some stuff where it might have been like kind of reckless because um even in the show early on when they were talking about Eugene and how him and Tommy kind of did like some crazy stuff when they were Fireflies and like Eugene wasn't like a big fan for all and that's why he kind of like went AWOL for a minute because they were doing like
Yeah.
some like weird experimental stuff. Um, so if I remember correctly, I think they were like trying to go for the same line, but the Wolves were more military with good hearts, but still some of them might be like a little bit power mad because of like that superiority
Okay.
in a sense.
And the Wolves took over Fedra.
Yeah, because like Wolves and Fedra were kind of like fighting with each other. Like Fedra was like more with the Fireflies, if I remember correctly.
Okay, because they were still trying to save the world,
Mm-hmm.
where the Wolves are more trying to control it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah, because that was my thing, because I wasn't sure, because I knew that there were those three factions, but I didn't know how they fit together.
Yeah,
That,
and then
that, that.
the Seraphites were definitely more like the religious, like herbalistic type of group where they had like a prophet, and they were thinking of like this person as like God, and like she was going to save us and all that stuff like that, and like
Mhm.
they live literally like, off the land and stuff. And
Okay.
that's why in that scene where Isaac is going against one of the Seraphites, that was completely scarred, which I wasn't expecting that shot to be like fully nude. Like, oh,
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Like the minute I saw him, I was like, "Well, this is HBO Max, so I know that they're gonna just have
right,
it out
but
there."
trying to think, I don't think I remember even in like the Last of Us season one seeing like anybody like fully nude. So like I
I think
wasn't
it's.
I wasn't
I think.
expecting it.
Yeah, I think something like that, because of the situation that we're in. More, it's more the monsters now are more humanity,
Yeah,
and seeing how dark. Because in the first, we're introduced to the infected, but now we're seeing that human interaction, how bad that can be,
yeah,
and only a human would strip you like that and then torture you, because he was
yep.
beaten,
And
and
then
dirty and everything.
he was also burned too by whether it
Yeah.
was like water or like oil or something. I don't
What
know
it,
what it was. It
it
was
was the copper pan, because he was talking about cooking
mhm. But I'm saying,
everything, and
I
that
don't
was
know what it was because he threw something at him though. I think like something in the pan.
the
That's why I
pan was
thought
just hot. The
it was
pan
just
was
hot.
it was just hot. Yeah, it was just hot.
Oh,
It was just hot because he was talking about how copper is a wonderful conductor and it heats up quickly, but it doesn't retain the heat. Like his whole speech was incredible, how he blended cooking and everything and then into torture,
mm,
and then doing that was crazy. Yeah, so you get to see the origin, I want to say, or the backstory more of Isaac,
mhm.
and I forgot the guy name that he took with him, Baker, maybe. I'm not sure. When he was torturing the
Oh
Scar,
no, Burton.
Burton, yeah, Burton.
Hmm.
And you see how he changed and everything, and then we get this, and you get that, but then you get this other story about, you get the story of this cruelty, and then you get the story of love between Dina and Ellie,
Hmm.
and the balance of that. Um, After they have a run in with wolves, they hold up in,
Like it's like
what
a
was it?
like old movie theater type of thing.
Well, no, before
Or
that they were in like the subway.
yeah, hmm.
Subway, there's this huge action scene which was beautifully done. Um, Ellie goes to save Dina. She gets bitten, and the minute Dina sees it, she's like, "Okay, so I'm gonna have to kill Ellie,"
Yeah.
because you can see it in her eyes. And so they
Hmm.
get safe. They get into the old movie theater, and then she holds her gun to her. She's like, "You're sick." She's like, "No, no, no. I'm immune. I'm immune. Nobody else knows this. Joel knew it, but nobody else knew."
Right.
In a way, I'm wondering, now that I think about it, did Catherine O'Hara's character know about Ellie being immune and what they were trying to do to her?
I want to say yes because if Joel was telling like having his therapy sessions.
Well, I don't know if you would have said that, but I know, because I mean Eugene was her husband, correct? Or partner?
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm wondering, and they were fireflies, so I'm wondering if that would have been something that she would have known, if they would have known, or if she knows about there being a girl just out there in general who's immune and they've been looking for her.
Hmm.
Kind of curious about that. Anyway, yeah, so she realizes, oh, no, she's immune, so she goes to sleep for a few hours. She wakes up, and she's like, "No, no, I'm not immune. I'm not changed. I'm not changed. Just water on my face because it's been downpouring, raining. So I'm immune." And then Dina blurts out, "I'm pregnant."
I repeat
And
that from episode 3.
that was just, I mean, yeah. Well, when she got when she had to pee and she was looking at those boxes, I was like, okay,
Oh
because she
no,
did.
there's a tell, but see, this is only because if you played the game, you would know.
Oh, okay.
Um, because since you already know that you're in that scene, that's when you do find out that she's pregnant.
Hmm.
But in the show in episode 3, Um,
Mm.
when they see the dead body, Dina goes throws up.
Oh
She
yeah,
goes
that
throw up.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, so that's a tell.
And then she throws up again. But then she
When they
also
see
says
the bodies.
beforehand that she had gotten back with what's name one more time. They talked
Yeah.
about that when they were in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, and there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of stuff going on. They end up getting together and they're making love, and then they wake up on the floor, and it's this beautiful scene. And for a second, you forget about everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then all hell breaks loose. They have to remember that they're still looking for Abby,
Abby and the group.
and this is a wild episode. There was a lot there,
So
and we're
now
only on episode 4.
I know. Now you want to know a quick game switch up
Yes.
in the game. Technically, Ellie doesn't get bit. Ellie doesn't get bit. What it is like they're in an area where it's full of spores, and they're both wearing their mask. But then at one point, Ellie's mask cracks because of like the horde.
Hmm.
So technically, Ellie is breathing in spores, but obviously, like she's immune, so it doesn't affect her.
Oh.
So, and that's why Dean was like, "No, let me give you your mask." And she's like, "No, no, no, I'm immune. I'm like, I don't need the mask." Like, she just because technically, Ellie's just wearing it just for show,
Yeah, because she doesn't want anybody to know, because
right?
that's a whole other issue.
Right. So that's how in the
Oh.
game, Dina finds out.
Mm. I think here I think it was a great way to pivot on this
Mm-hmm.
adaptation, because that scene held a lot of weight, and you don't have as much time as you do in the game,
Mm-mm.
you know. So I think that was a great pivot, and it was a very emotional scene, and it was both them like telling these, I'm immune, I'm pregnant. Fair enough, you win. I
Like,
don't
all
know how to
right,
top that one. And the way she's like, oh, I'm gonna be a dad, and we're gonna be a family, like a big family. This is very beautiful. This series is just giving so much, and I'm really enjoying myself watching it, and the acting and it's just, yeah, it's just so much fun.
and I know I stepped away for like a quick like second, but I don't know if you brought up when like they were at the music shop.
Oh no, yes. Oh, that
And
was
that I think like thinking back to it, I think that was like when PlayStation like made the interaction for like you guys playing instruments, because I've only seen it in that game and in like Final Fantasy remake when you get to play
mhm.
the piano. But it's like those only two games where like I to see you can actually play something like by notes on there. I'm sitting, I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I'm like
And
flashback.
it was such a beautiful thing. And when they were even like, because they said that that was like literally from the game, they had to have that scene in the from the game,
Yeah,
and it was so. And it's she's singing
take on
uh,
me.
"Take on Me" from Aha.
Hmm.
If you know that song, if you're old enough to know that song, beautiful song. But Ellie's rendition of it, at first I was like, wait, what? And I didn't realize what song it was until she started singing. And I sat there captivated by it, and seeing the way Dina and like the actress, Isabel, I forget her last name. Um, but they were calling her Izzy. She was like, I started like crying, because it was like so good, and she was like just like caught up in watching
Hmm.
play. And the way, and then they flash back to, Joel saying, do you want to learn how to play the guitar?
Yep.
All all right, well, I'll teach you. It makes me want to go back and watch the first season again, because it's so good, but just the little details like that were just amazing. And then when she left the guitar there, that was almost like her. You know how you watch movies and a character will die and they'll bury the character and they'll put a cross in like the
Hmm.
main grave? It felt like she was doing that for Joel's grave, like putting when she put the guitar down. That's what it felt like to me,
Mm.
doing that. And I was like this, and I was like, and the way they lingered on the guitar, I was like, this scene has to be from the game, because of the attention, the detail,
Oh
the
yeah.
love, the way they're lingering on it, and it feeling so right. This has to be from the game. Because you'll know certain scenes are from the game because of how they linger, and because of how they shoot it. You
Hmm.
can feel it there. they are not missing with this at all. Honestly, this is, yeah, this I just yeah.
I see. And I can't wait for them to drop first season and not season episode 5, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when you start. Because I'm not going to say anything as far as the spoiler goes, but you'll start to see other enemies pop up
Mm-hmm.
that you see in the game that have a new name for it. But I'm not going to bring up who they are. But that's like more of like, imagine you actually playing against that sucker in the game versus you watching it. It's insane.
Mm. Well, I'm excited about because I know that I've been seeing people showing like some gameplay of Last of Us season 2 and them just running through enemies, like human enemies. And I'm like, this looks really cool the way you guys, and they're like doing it in one shot. And like the scene will probably take me about 10 minutes because I'm scoping out, looking at everything, and they're going through it like boom. They probably played it like, numerous times, but they're going through each enemy, sneak kills, like throwing bottles, Molotov cocktails. They're going through it, and I'm like, that's cool. That's awesome. I know I'm not gonna play like that, but
Yeah,
it's
because they're
awesome.
like
But
skilled with it. Like they'll run, be
yeah,
like toss, run, toss, pop in the leg, run,
yeah,
toss.
yes, which is awesome.
I'm like, I can't.
No,
I do want to say, I know we're over in time,
no, no.
but I'll give one more shout out to the game. Like when there's certain scenes where like you could kind of like tell when they do like in game cutscenes, and then it goes directly to like gameplay. Like when they
Mm,
show when they show the bodies in the TV station, and all of a sudden when like you heard the radio going off on like one of like the Frida, no, the wolf soldiers,
yeah.
it's like, oh crap, they're coming back. And it kind of feels like you literally just like watch them do like a scene in the game, and it
Oh,
switches over into like gameplay where it's like, okay, you got to duck and cover, and you saw the lights going on. But it's like, to me, that felt like it was like a transition from a quick in-game cutscene directly into gameplay. It was like, all right, let me grab my controller and start like, figuring
yeah.
out what I need to do.
That's actually a very good point. That's really, yeah, because you felt the tension. The minute have you felt that tension, like, oh, and we've all been in that situation where you didn't expect that stealth mission, but now you're in there,
Yep.
and now you got to be quiet. Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's very true. That's very true. See, folks, here's the thing: we're not only giving you analysis, we're not only talking about eating too fast. We're also talking about like things like this, where little details that matter with things.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode, we've given you anime, we've given you a con event recap. We have given you, what was it again, Jabba?
Emotional damage. Emotional damage.
And I don't think you should be singing and dancing when you say that. I don't think that's the term to be singing and dancing to
It
say.
covers the pain of emotional damage.
I really can't follow that. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, folks, that is our show for today. So I put a schedule up. Did you see it, folks? I'm learning how to use
I did.
technology. Thank you. So, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have TBA News Comics Culture. It will be myself and Robert. We will be giving reviews of comics and some of the comic book news going on. And then Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Hungry Bleak Show. We will be doing a Sinners panel discussion, and I have some incredible creatives to talk about that. It is going to be fun. It's going to be live. This is a full week, folks. So this is going to be your place to be right here on the Hungry Bleak channel. But as always, on Mondays, I'm always with the lady of TBA,
Jabba Chin.
who is giving you.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage.
I don't think you should be dancing and saying that. I don't think it's.
It covers the pain.
I don't think it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh, all right. Well, and I am Antonio Pomares, the Hungry Bleak. Folks, you have a very good evening. Enjoy the rest of it. Sleep tight. And as always, F Trump.